Hello, everyone, and welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. It's Score and the Players here with me and Steve, who looks rather depressed after that very boring, I wouldn't say very boring, frustrating is probably the word, 0-0 draw with Leeds United. So, Steve, I'll let you go first. Nick Pope in goal, got a clean sheet. Did he really have to do much, or how do you think he went?
Well, the one time we did need him, he made the save on. It was second half, and it was a shot from the right, and he had to dive out to say. I forget who took the shot on. I don't think it was Rodrigo.
I think it was Rodrigo, was the
Oh, it
Brazilian lad,
was
I think.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. So there, he did well. Claimed his crosses. I'd say, 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. Can't knock him on anything, but he didn't need to be excellent because Leeds second half were just anonymous, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
I think it's just one of them performances um where he wasn't really tested as much as what he should have been.
yeah.
But yeah, I think 7 out of 10 is spot on. Obviously, if anyone's got different comments, they can put it in the comment section below. So
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
move on to Dan Burn. So I'll take Dan Burn. I thought he had an all right game again the day. I didn't think it was anything special. I think he just done his job. I think Leeds didn't really threaten much down his side, which I was surprised at. So I think I'm just going to probably be controversial here and go about a 6 out of 10. I think he just didn't really do that much going forward. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, about a 6 or 7 out of 10. I thought he was, clean on the ball. I'm telling you what, every single game he gets a little bit better on the ball for like
Yeah,
the guy doesn't look like a technically sound player. He looks like your typical 6'5" plus center back. You never would have thought that he could just cut back on his left and just square it to Trippier or Botman. So I think, yeah, about a 6 or 7. I'd probably go
yeah.
7. Kept a clean sheet. Didn't make any errors in the game.
I
That's
think
what I would.
the only bit I would have been more impressed at is if you would have got a higher score if he actually put the ball in the back of the net from the corner.
Right. That.
You know when he was falling down, but I think that was one of the things where, as he was falling, he couldn't really get his position. So obviously, if he scored, he would have been a lot higher. But I didn't think he had a bad game. I think he just had a bang average game. There is obviously a few people in the comments section saying 7. So why would you give Burn 7 and not 6?
I kind of do agree with you though because of he did miss it. It was tough, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I see what you're saying. And by the way, Richard, you are right. I did pick us to win 4-0. That's the last time I'm doing that. But yeah, hey, we take the good with the bad. But yeah, we'll talk more about the match later. But you are right, Richard. We did. I felt confident, but
Yeah. Moving swiftly on to Sven Botman.
Ben,
Steve, how do you think he was today?
thought didn't have too much to do, but on the ball was fine. Defensively, did his job when needed to. I thought he was completely fine. Probably about a 7. I can't remember a mistake he made. I can't. Thought he was pretty good. So I'll
Yeah.
go 7.
7. I would agree with you. Like
Yeah.
the thing is, we've never really seen him tested yet, and I think coming up against Arsenal next week or whenever it is,
Tuesday.
I think that'll probably arguably could be one of his first tests.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't look like he's really getting out of second gear, and it's just the game just seems so easy for him.
I definitely agreed, man. I did like. Again, and then we'll move on to Shar, obviously, and I thought he was probably also about. Well, you'll take his score, but I thought both of them had, a pretty good game. Shar probably a little bit lower for me, at least, because he did miss 2 chances, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think of Shar? Defensively, he was fine.
Yeah, I think it's quite hard to really score defenders on missing chances because it's arguably not their job to do.
Right.
And I think both of them weren't really tested at the back. So I think I'm just going to copy your score and go with a 7. Obviously, Shaw's got it in him to score long-range goals, and I think sometimes we do expect a bit too much of him going forward. So I think he was solid at the back. But yeah, I think 7 all round for the two centre backs. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Shaw and Botman at the back. Would you like to see anybody else come in to the back too? If you don't pick Botman, then you're a bit of a fool, but never mind. So for the final defender today, Steve, it is Kieran Trippier. How do you think you played today?
I'd probably go with 6. It's one of the only times kind of I was debating with you before we started that Trippier could have been man of the match, but then I was like, well, I mean, he did get a lot of, crosses in and stuff, but then you were like, oh, well, Meslier claimed pretty much all of them, but it wasn't Trippier's best game, but, it is a bit comforting, I guess, that even though he had a poor game, that doesn't mean that we as a team were necessarily poor in terms of we didn't let them score at least. So as a defender, for me, if you get a clean sheet, you'll get a 6. So, but yeah, I saw saw a comment right here. The delivery was piss poor. And Meslier just claimed everything. It was from everyone.
Yeah.
I thought the service wasn't that great from everyone's side of things. So happens.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. Do you know what I mean? He didn't do any worse than a 6, but going forward and being the main set play taker, his crosses weren't very good. Meslier did come out and claim a lot of them. So we'll move on to the midfield. But before we do that, could everyone remember to like the video? We've got 13 likes at the minute. So if we could get that up to about 30 or 40 by the end of the video, that would be perfect. I'll move on to who should I pick? Longstaff. I'll go with Sean Longstaff. The day. I don't want to slate him. I think he had an average game, and I think he had a few chances that he probably could have took better. I don't think anybody on that pitch today was particularly brilliant, and I don't think anybody was poor. It was just Leeds seemed to be doing everything in the second half to slow it down by fouling us. So I just personally just think we do need better centre mids. We've got Bruno, but I think he's the only next level player. So I think I'm going to go with down the middle and go with 6 with Sean. What do you think, Steve?
Sorry, but I'm gonna drop the hammer on Longstaff. I have to. I'm sorry. Both of the chances he had to score, you got to score them. You got to score them. He couldn't have picked a worse time to miss 2 sitters, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
if you had to give him a score, what would you give him? No?
4.
Longstaff must have been that bad that Steve decided to leave. So there's a couple in the comments saying 5, 2. Well, one said 2, 4. So I think we all agree it wasn't Sean Longstaff's best day today.
Liam, I might just ask you this simple question, bro. If we are to achieve top 4 or anything near that or up above to get Europe, do you think we need to significantly upgrade on him in the midfield? I think we do.
But then I feel like the whole midfield's got to upgrade. I think we've got to upgrade Shelvey, Willock, Longstaff. It's not just Longstaff's holding we're back. There is a few different players that we do need to upgrade on. But
absolutely,
it's gradual. Like you wouldn't want to just get rid of the players that have been there because then you'll lose the spirit of what the club is. But yeah, we'll move on. You will have Joe Willock today.
Invisible second half for me. If another 4.
Just before you continue, where did you go?
Where you been? I'm not sure what Manvir's asking.
Because you just went off. So I wonder where you went.
Are you? He might be talking about the watch-alongs. But yeah, no.
Go on, continue with Willock, mate.
No, Willock for me 4.
Why?
He made himself busy in and about in the first half, but then second half I did not notice him whatsoever.
Yeah.
I thought it was poor. He was as bad as Longstaff in my opinion. I honestly, did you notice much of him in that game second half? I didn't. I think he failed to impose himself on the ball or anything. I mean, he is unlucky not to score today. I agree with you, Manvir, but again, it's another guy where it's like we can upgrade you very easily, my friend. So, yeah, not for me. If I'm being harsh on the midfield, I gotta be harsh on Joe Willock because again, he wasn't. Yeah. I don't think he was that great. I don't know. What would you give him though?
I think around about a 5 for me the day. Like, I just don't think it was that game. It wasn't anybody's fault. I think they were just all poor. Not all poor, but all average, I think is the best word. There was no like one to take the game by the scruff of the neck. So I'll take Bruno in the middle. But before we do that, remember to like the video and get involved in the comment section. Have your opinion on why you think we're wrong or right. You know what I mean? We'll try and read some of the comments out as we go along. So I'll move on to Bruno. I think a 6. Yeah. I didn't think he was anything special today, and obviously we always expect him to perform. And I think the whole midfield wasn't great, so a 6 for me today. I think you could even argue that he could have been lower, but I just think Leeds, like I was saying earlier, Leeds slowed it down an awful lot in the second half, and I don't think we could have
they won the midfield battle. That was the crucial part of it. I mean, Tyler Adams, I know I'm not very happy with him right now. He's acting like a fucking gimp, but to be fair, he's man of the match for both times, in my opinion. Thought he ran the game, you know, so and we just didn't have an answer to it. So there were a few little moments from Bruno. I'm thinking about the ball in the first half out to Willock, which he sprinted on to, and then I'm trying to think of some other little Bruno moments. Probably about a 6.
Yeah. What would you give it in the comment section? Because a few years are disagreeing with what I'm saying. So what score would you give him? Obviously if you call it, we'll include it before we go.
Willock was invisible. That's what I'm saying, Robert. Gets game score as Longstaff, no chance. I mean, where was he second half? That's what I'm penalizing Willock for.
Yeah.
5 for Bruno. We're not the race today. It happens. We just have to. That's the philosophy Liam's taking up.
What do you agree with an 8 today?
I don't think this was one of Bruno's best games, or a typical Bruno performance is an 8.
Yeah.
This was, in my opinion, 2 steps below. I mean, he was still doing things that nobody on that pitch could do, but it wasn't as frequent. I feel like he didn't get on the ball as much. The guy that on the ball the most for me in this game, if I look at the touches, I bet Joe Linton got the most on the ball. I thought he was on the ball a lot. Same with Trippier. Felt like Trippier got a lot on the ball. Same with Miggy. I'd say I don't know. I would say a 6. And you got to keep in mind, people, this is for Bruno's standards, right? We're grading players off their standards.
See, I don't grade it off the standards. I try to grade it off how they've played.
You know what I'm saying, though, right? Like the spirit of it, sort of thing. Yeah. So and this comment from Paul from me. Oh, sorry. Comment from me from Paul summarizes 6 is fair. Played some nice crosses, passes, held on the ball too long, gave away the ball a few times as well, long too many times, lost it a few times. So there you go.
Yeah.
And Brian,
we'll move on to.
It was a decent game. It was just frustrating we didn't win. That's all.
Yeah. We'll move on to Miggy, and you can take him, Steve. What do you What did you think of Miggy's performance today?
Miggy was our man of the match. I thought on the ball off the right, he was a threat every single time. He would get, hug the goal line and get crosses in. I believe.
Yeah.
Who had the chance in the first half where Miggy did? It was a ball from, I believe, Trippier, and I'd say, I'm trying to think, he squared it to someone. Actually, it might have been. Was it Longstaff?
Might have been. I'm not 100% sure.
No, but for me, I'd say Miggy was 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah, man of the match for me. And like the comment here says, creating so many chances. I felt like he was far and away our best player.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think I've got to agree with you. He wasn't. Obviously, everyone wasn't at the races, but he was arguably the best player on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think 7.5 is fair. It's probably the right score. So we'll move. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was just going to add on to that. And you know what's really encouraging also, even though it's obviously a very negative, not so great result, the fact that Miggy has good games and he doesn't need to score to have them. That's encouraging.
Yeah.
Because before Eddie Howe, the guy would have good game. Would have games where he wasn't good, but he made himself run about and whatnot. But now it's the quality on the ball that we're getting. It's the service. It's the chance creation. Before it was just, we'll give him a good score because he ran a lot. You coined that phrase, obviously. So, no, but it's really nice to see Miggy having good games, and he's not on the score sheet. Obviously, I'd like him to be on the score sheet, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, so got in behind plenty of times, like Paul said. He does what he always does. So yeah.
Right. I'll move on to Joe Linton. Trying to think of what score I could give him because I think he was around Miggy in terms of probably one of the better players on the pitch, but
yeah,
I think I'm going to stick with a 6.
Yeah.
I don't get why we're seem to be playing him on the wings when he's better suited to be playing in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It's an odd one. I don't know if it's just because the formation's been working, the position's been working. So I don't know whether Eddie Howe's just trying to keep it the same way because you generally don't change a winning team unless you've got players suspended or injured. So I don't think it was his greatest performance, but he did knock it back for Dan Burn in the box, and obviously Burn missed it. But I wouldn't say. I think this was just like I've said plenty of times already. It was just a bang average performance by players. It wasn't through the lack of effort. I think Leeds just dominated in areas, like you say, and Leeds won the midfield battle. So
yeah, absolutely.
Leeds had a game how much work to get in our face and slow us down. I thought that their goalie was outstanding. The only problem with their goalie was he couldn't kick for shit. Every time it was going out.
To the left out for a goal or a throw in.
Yeah, he was a good goalkeeper, but apart from that, he kind of kicked a ball.
Aye.
So why did you think he was? Why do you think he was a 5 for anyone in the comment section?
I mean, that's not far off a 6, but yeah. Explain otherwise. I mean, I would agree with you though on a 6. The thing you always get from Joe Linton is in industry. You get work. You get like guys up for a battle. He won plenty of tackles and balls. Physically is up for the game, but quality on the ball, it wasn't necessarily there today. It was almost like, honestly, it felt like it honestly, when we play Leeds, a lot of the times it feels like a derby sort of thing, like a northern, clash sort of thing. So it was just that kind of game. It was scrappy and tough, which you want Joe Linton in there, but you want him in midfield, definitely, in my opinion. So, but yeah, and then we'll finally get on to our striker.
I'll let you take the striker, Steve. Chris Wood, how do you feel like you've done?
How many good things did he do in the game?
He did have 1 or 2 chances. I think if Chris Wood was a yard quicker, you would be banging them in for it.
I gotta give him like a 3. I'm sorry.
Three.
Yeah. I didn't think he imposed himself on the game whatsoever. Did you not notice an instant improvement when Wilson came on? Because I sure did. That's the problem. Yeah, I gotta give him a 3. I'm sorry. That wasn't great. It really wasn't. You can't miss 2 chances when you're in a possible top 4 race. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
You've got high standards now, Liam. It's crazy, but this is how the cookie crumbles. Didn't impose himself in the game. I all these long balls in, never takes advantage of them, it seems like. And I'm a guy who tries to defend Chris Wood. I was saying in the WhatsApp earlier this morning, like, he scored some important goals for us. They usually win points when he scores, but yeah, penalties, he's great and all that. Like, he'll get you an occasional goal, but hasn't really worked out. Honestly, really hasn't. We should upgrade on him in January, in my opinion. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I trust whatever the ownership does. And, so I'll go 3. I don't know. What would you give him? It's not like you're giving him an 8 or anything. So what do you?
I was just about to give him an 8 there, mate. I think anywhere between 4 to 6 would have been all right. I think 3's a little harsh, but anywhere between 4 to 6 will do.
Okay. All right. Well, we both agree it wasn't great.
Yeah.
So.
Right, we'll move on to the substitutes. Obviously, 2 came on at the same time, so I'll take Alan Saint-Maximin today. I thought he was. I think impressive's the wrong word. I think he was probably better down the wing than
definitely impressive.
Than Joe Willock and Joe Linton. Joe Willock. Oh, yes, Joe Willock. Joe Willock and Joe Linton. So it was hard because he only had about 28 minutes to actually come on to the field and try and drag the team to get 3 points. I think a 6 if I can find him. I kind of seem to find him in a minute.
They're somewhere. I'll help you out. You'd say a 6, yeah?
Yeah, 6, mate.
Yeah, I'd probably go a 7, but same range. It's all good.
Yeah. I don't think he was as good as Miggy, for a 0.5 off Miggy. I think if he had longer on the field, then I think he would have imposed himself more on the game.
Does he need to start next game?
Yeah. If we want to go toe to toe with Arsenal, then we need to start ASM, and I think you got to risk Wilson as well. I think against Arsenal, so a 6 if we can find him.
Yeah. True. Here, I'll type in ASM. You said 6. Sorry, right?
Yes, mid 6.
Nice.
Before we move, go on.
For people wondering why I just wrote Saint Max, the N key on my keyboard is completely broken. So I typed the N because I found the StreamYard link and there was an N, so I copy pasted. So there you go.
Yes. So before we move on to Callum Wilson, which is Steve's going to take, just remember to like the video, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. But Steve, take it away with Callum Wilson. How do you think he played the day?
Upgrade on Chris Wood for sure. I'd probably say another 6. Good cameo. Yeah. Obviously didn't score, so I can't give him really anything higher than that, because if you're brought on as a sub, you want to score, So I will give him a 6 though. Look good. Definitely needs to start against Arsenal. And so I go 6 for me. So yeah, real solid. He looked. The thing also I noticed is he looks fully fit now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think he looks fully fit. So I'm impressed. I'm excited for the Arsenal game, but watching them right now, they should have just gone 2-0 up. Yeah, that's going to be a tricky one. And also considering we haven't scored a goal against them since 2014 at the Emirates. So
we'll be fine, man.
aye.
I'll let you take Jacob Murphy. He was only on the pitch. He came on at 84 minutes for Miggy. How I don't really think he'd done much myself. Like,
Yeah, NA.
Yeah, we'll go NA, right. So we'll move on to Eddie.
He got wound up by an American too, so it wouldn't be a good score if he was eligible for one.
Yeah,
So.
we'll move on to Eddie Howe. How do you think he done? Did he set the team up right? Did he get the tactics right? Did he get his substitutes right?
He brought on everyone that he should have brought on, in my opinion. We approached the game correctly. Maybe less of the long balls, but as the game got on towards the second half, we did eventually cut out the long balls except for corners. 7 for Eddie Howe.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree. Yeah, 7. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it wasn't his best, but yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens. So
yeah, we're always going to come up against teams where they just outplay with. You know what I mean?
And also, Leeds second half just sat back. Like that's how teams play against us at home. We said that in the WhatsApp group. So that's something we can hold our heads high on. That we're just gonna have to get used to this. Teams are gonna be playing like this against us. Even some of the top teams. It's crazy. So.
But that is scoring the players done. We now move on to fan reactions. So if you want to come on and have a bit of crack with Steve, because I'm leaving shortly. So the links in the comment section. So if you want to join, have a bit of crack with Steve and maybe some other fans. Do you know what I mean? Let we know what you thought of the scores, or let we know what you thought of the players or leads or whatever. But yes, Steve, I'm going to leave it to you in your capable hands, and I'm going to dart off now, mate. But if I didn't speak to you in the WhatsApp group, have a nice New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Liam. Take care, man. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
See ya. All right, people. All right. Let's break down some of these comments because I know Liam probably missed a few at the beginning. Fair enough, we were doing scoring the players. So, but yeah. Oop, I did not mean to do that, actually. Jesus, hell. All right, Leeds United. No, there we go. All right. Take it away and sell out of Fur and Lehman. What's going on? Heavy rain didn't suit us. I'll give the weather a 2. Yeah, we could grade the ref. Ref was inconsistent for me. It was all right. One of the better, less crap refs that I've seen around in the Premier League for a decent amount of time. So that's nice. I guess. So yeah, but make sure to get on the fan reaction show. Looks like Connor will be joining me in a minute. Awesome. Yeah, the Clouds 1 out of 10. Senshi bad or regular. The comment section, what's going on? 6 ready. Yeah, I kept Wood way too long on the pitch. Yeah, fair enough. So got it and Scum United right up the arse. Bro, I'm telling you right now, fuck Leeds United. I can't stand them. I can't stand them. Fucking wrongins. Seriously, dude. Howie, 7 out of 10? 7 out of 10, he's no good under pressure. I disagree with that. Massively disagree with that, but fair enough. It's all about opinions, my friend. Why have Premier League refs got pot bellies exactly? Graham, is your audio all set? You all set to go real quick? Come on for a few minutes. Hey, Graham. Can you hear me? You there? I think you're. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
Hey, Graham, what's going on, man? Welcome to the fan reaction show. What I don't know. What are your thoughts on the game overall?
Yeah, I thought we were. We sort of controlled the game really, but it's just the finishing, I think, wasn't it? Chris Wood is just sort of a weak link, isn't he? Really? I think.
Longstaff too. You had two. You know what the most frustrating
And
thing?
long.
Sorry,
Yeah,
what?
sorry. Yeah, and Longstaff. I mean,
Yeah.
he's Longstaff's been sort of okay for. He's a good backup, isn't he? But I mean, as a sort of he hasn't really. We need a. I think Shelby would have replaced him if he'd been fit in that game, and
Agreed.
it's just a sort of it's a weak link, isn't it, in the team? Wood and Longstaff, to my mind.
All right, and we have gotten results under them in the past. Fine, I'll give you that. We beat Chelsea 1-0, and Wood and Longstaff were on. That's all fair and well, but we need to, if we want to challenge for those top 4 spots, we gotta really gotta upgrade on them. Make those guys.
I mean,
bench players to the bench players.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you think about it, Steve, but I would say there's Longstaff, there's Wood, Murphy. They're sort of they're fringe players, aren't they? Really, it's sort of it's those are the players that really we just need. Well, not immediately, but over time to strengthen to make the difference, probably between where we are now to really being at the top.
Yeah, exactly. The good comment here. Longstaff can run, but we need people who can run and have quality. I mean, it's not a marathon. This is football. You're supposed to be good at football, passing, shooting. Yeah. It helps to run a lot, but we're not in a marathon, man. And the thing that bothered me today was we skied so many shots. And if you look at the replays, for every single shot, they're leaning back. And when you lean back that little bit, it screws up your shot completely, and that's how you sky it.
It's just. I mean, it's one of those days. It's pretty one of those days, wasn't it? But the finishing just wasn't there, and as it went on, you thought it's just going to stay that way, and we're not going to get anywhere. But I mean, you look at it overall, and you think from last season. I mean, there's no comparison, is there? It's just sort of, the improvement is huge, but it's just a few things to tweak it, isn't there? Now that just needs to sort of, we've got players that we had when we were in the bottom that are still there, that are still coming on as substitutes, and sort of they can't change the game, can they? They can't make a win out of a sort of the last 20 minutes. We're sort of it's staying as it is, isn't it? And that's probably just where the slight difference we need to change over the next year or so, season or so.
Yeah. I mean, it happens, man. It happens. I am still, annoyed we didn't win, but I guess there are still some positive. It's not all completely doom and gloom. It sucks. It sucks we didn't win. It sucks we didn't win, but to be fair,
I mean, look at Melia.
What?
You look at Melia, and I mean, he's over a lot of the games. He's sort of I thought he's quite a weak link in a lot of the games for Leeds, but today, I mean, he was sort of, he played well, didn't he? He was sort of, you see him against the previous game against sort of, he wasn't so good, and I've seen him in other games. He's been, again, he's terrible, but today he wasn't. So it just wasn't. And you look at it, just wouldn't. The ball wouldn't fall for us, would it? I mean, another day, it may have fallen right. The ball might have fallen right, and we would score 1 or 2. But it looked like one of those days, and it's just what happened. But,
right.
But it doesn't mean that.
I was just about to say, sorry, Graham. Were you saying something else, man? I was just gonna bring up this comment right here. Like, to be fair, I watched that Man City Everton game too. Everton actually dominated the game. I never thought I would say that in a million years, but I had all the Premier League games on. I watched Fulham, Southampton, Newcastle, Leeds. I watched Man City Everton, and the other one, Bournemouth Palace. And Everton were playing better football than Man City, arguably. So it was a strange day for teams in the top. So to be fair, again, if you are going to drop points in the same week as Man City, that's the best time to do it. Because if they won today, they would be 5 points clear of us, or sorry, 6 actually, because 4 points.
Exactly.
Now.
It's no different really. So, we're still in the same position more or less, aren't we? It's no different, but it's we'd probably play Leeds another 10 times and beat them. Beat them every time more or less, but just wasn't. You could see as the game went on, it was just wasn't going to be. But that's it. It happens, doesn't it, occasionally?
Yeah, fair enough. Any final thoughts before I bring on the next guest, Graham?
Sorry, Steve.
Were there any final thoughts you had about the game?
Well, only possibly that, Saint-Maximin when he came on and Wilson, just wondered if maybe they'd come on a bit earlier. It might have made a difference. There wasn't quite enough time for them to really get into the game to change things. They're on, but it wasn't really. Maybe they don't come on shortly after the second half had begun. It might have made a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
But then Wilson, you don't know how fit he is, so who knows?
Yeah, that's true. I thought ASM's cameo was splendid, and then quite good too. So, I agree with you 100%, man. Well, bit of a bummer result, but thank you, Graham, for hopping on. Really appreciate it.
No worries. Yeah, take care, mate. Take care,
man. Peace. Let me just get in some comments right before I bring you in, Connor. City, Arsenal, United, Liverpool, top 4, Newcastle 6. I mean, I'm not going to go that down. It's not like we got destroyed or anything. I still think we'll make top 4. Still think so. Rough day at the office, yeah. But again, there's a comment here that perfectly described what I wanted. Perfect result heading in a transfer window, plus brings the lads back down to earth before Arsenal. You could look at it that way as well, possibly. Yeah, there's an argument to be made there. Anyways, everyone's favorite Scotsman, Connor. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm not too bad, Steve.
Yeah.
It's a disappointing result. Obviously, I think it's a poor result because you go and hammer Leicester on their own patch. Just a couple of days ago, a terrific performance. You're getting back at home, last game of the year, against the Leeds United team, who, and this is where my frustration comes in, actually, are not exactly great defensively. They have been shipping loads of goals this season. They're awful, and we couldn't put a single goal past them. The crosses into the box weren't finding their targets. They were too close to the keeper. They were too easy to defend. You can't have that amount of corners and free kicks and other crossing opportunities, not take any of them, and then you've got Longstaff. I mean, the last person on the planet you want those chances to fall to, because he's going to miss them. Unfortunately for Sean Longstaff, he gives you effort. You can't deny that. But he couldn't finish his dinner. That's the reality of it.
Because he leans back on the shots. Yeah, he leans back. You don't do that. You don't see strikers scoring goals when they're leaning back to. And the other one, okay, the one chance that he missed, remember, when, I think it was Miggy squared it to him. The power is in the pass it was inside the box, dead middle in the box. The pass was on the ground. It had all the power behind it, but he went for power still. It's like, no. If you look at how you strike a ball like that, the power is in the pass. All you have to do is redirect it, essentially. You don't need to put any power on it. You just literally have to move your foot forward, and it's already got the power generated when it goes this way. And he still leaned back and followed through heavy. It's just like, dude.
And that's what you get for somebody who's not a natural finisher. And the problem is, he's a midfielder. So part of the job of a midfielder at times is going to be, there's an expectation you're going to score some goals when you're a midfielder. Not as much as a striker, obviously, but you're expected to be able to
every once in a
take those chances. And he just didn't. I do think we had a perfectly legitimate claim for a penalty. I felt that when Fabian Schär was brought down.
Yeah, Tyler Adams, Fabian Schär. Yeah.
It's one of those ones that frustrates the life out of me again because there's absolutely no VAR check on it. And I don't. Why do we have VAR if it's not going to check? You know, they might
opinion, I guess.
Yeah, but they should at least be checking because there is contact.
Aye.
And it does send the player down. So, in terms of the letter of the law, it's absolutely worth a check. And it's also one of those ones, if the referee on the pitch had pointed to the spot, would VAR have overturned that and said that was a clear and obvious error for him to do that? I don't know if it would. It's not an excuse. It's just an opinion. People might disagree with. But look, I think we still have to maintain the positivity because at the end of the day, it's a draw. We didn't lose. Yes, I think we're going to have to be better in those games because we drew 0-0 with Bournemouth earlier in the season at home. And then we've drawn again with another team at the bottom half of the table.
Palace as well.
Yeah. And, you know, again, these are teams who are at the bottom half of the table. You have to beat them, especially at home. I could have accepted that result a bit more if it was at Elland Road, if we were away at Leeds, because that kind of thing can happen when you're on the road. We're at home. And there's no way Arsenal aren't winning that game today or Man City. I know Man City drew by Everton, but this is Leeds we're talking about, not Everton. Everton do at least have a threat going forward. That Leeds kind of.
I don't think Everton got a threat going. I mean, Demarai Gray is inconsistent for my liking.
He's very inconsistent, Demarai Gray, but I still think he's better than any of the strike options that Leeds have got. Maybe with the exception of Bamford, but he's obviously out injured. But no, I'm not. You know, we move on to Tuesday, away to Arsenal, and we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, we're still third. We're still going to be third. And I think we'll still be okay. We'll still push for a title. I mean, think about it. We're at the end of the year. We're halfway through the season.
Aye.
We've lost one game. We've had too many draws, but we've certainly only lost one game. You know, so in that respect, yeah.
It truly is. I'm going through the whole fucking thing of it's back and forth, glass half empty, glass half full. Ultimately, though, yeah, hell, really disappointing, but there are some positives you can take. Yeah, maybe that's a loser mentality or whatever the hell you want to say. But to be honest, man, I mean,
right? This time a year ago, we would have had that draw a year ago or just over a year ago. Would have been awful. You know, we would have been thinking.
A home record.
And the reason it would have been awful is because we'd have been thinking, you know what, it's a point, we'll take it because any point was a good point under Bruce. Now we can look at that and say, bad point. Leeds are going up the road. Their fans are celebrating like they've just won because they've came to St James's and got a point. They've played anti-football. It's worked. They've got their point. Yeah. They're going up the road. Delighted with that. You've seen some of the players after the game. You know, some of the Leeds players are on the park clapping away at their fans, celebrating that because that's a very good point for them. So that I think is the positive. It shows how far we've come. They're coming here and they're treating it the same way they would if they got a point at Anfield or at the Etihad or at the Emirates.
Trafford, yeah.
You know, so that I think that is the real positive to take from it. That's what I want. I want us to beat these teams, but I want these teams to come to St James's Park with that legitimate fear and that legitimate sense of sheer joy that they managed to get anything from us there.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think the other thing too that was tough is that if you actually think about the past few times we've hosted Leeds at home, we're winless in 4 against them at home.
Yep.
We haven't beat them at home. It's been a while, so they have that historical edge on it on us, or recent head to head. But yeah, I don't know, happens. But yeah, Leeds were impressive, even though like real attacking threat of halftime. I mean, for me, their man of the match is Tyler Adams. That is terrific. If you're really good, I mean, Leeds performed well. There's a reason why they got a point. So yeah, Scott Park, Club Bruges manager. Yeah, interesting. Wow. Out there appointment. Yeah, Leeds gave it a go in the first half. Yep. And then I think they realized second half they actually have a chance to get a point out of it. So when you're in that relegation dogfight, me and you know all about this.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Going away from home to a top 3 team and getting a point. If it was on the other foot, we'd be buzzing too, probably.
Well, yeah, because when you're in that battle, any point you can get, from these grounds is a bonus. I do think that we need to, the sooner we can get players like Alexander Isak back, I think the better, because he's going to be a really good player for us.
Yes.
I think Wilson, it's a shame he's come back for the World Cup. We thought he got unscathed, gets a bit of an illness, whatever, and he's not 100%. For me, Chris Wood, these are games where he's got an opportunity to prove
he screws up every
he's
time.
worth the shot. And again today, he's not involved enough for me. He doesn't do anything. He stands in the box. He waits for something to happen around him. And then if it happens, he can maybe and he is a very good goal poacher. We've known this. He can tap a ball in the back of the net and get a header. But he waits for it to happen. He doesn't make it happen by himself. Callum Wilson sometimes can get a ball, his back's turned to goal, he's got a defender on him, and he can get turned and get a shot away and make something happen.
Even Rashford, even Rashford this morning or afternoon, the goal he scored against Wolves, power just to barge through Wolves' defense and slot it. That's not something Chris Wood can do, unfortunately.
That's what you've got to do, though, as a striker. You've got to
do. He's a big guy, so he can do what Rashford did in terms of barging off a defender. I don't know.
So I think we are missing that edge. But Wilson being back, I agree with what you and Liam were saying during scoring the players. I think it's crucial. He has to start against Arsenal, Callum Wilson, as does
Sam as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a risk, but it's a risk you've got to take because you can't wrap the players in cotton wool. And these are the big games that you need your big players in, and they are two of the best you've got. Obviously, if Alexander Isak had been fit, I might have said, you know what, maybe we can start Isak and bring Wilson on. That wouldn't have been as concerning to me than the idea of starting Chris Wood at the end.
Because they're two really good strikers, different skill sets. Isak is more of a dribbling striker as well, can play even off the left. I mean, I don't know. That happens. But anyways, any final thoughts, Connor, about the game before I bring on Kieran real quick? What anything to wrap it up? This 2022.
Yeah, just listen. The only final thought I would have is that 2022 has been probably the best year I've personally had. I've been a Newcastle fan in the 14 years I've supported them. Same. It's definitely the best year because it's been the year I've enjoyed the most. I've enjoyed watching us play. No matter what the results have been. Even today, it's 0-0, but there was still a lot of good football played. There was still things to like about the performance. And you're always going to get that. So I think we just have to keep that positive mentality. And I honestly believe next year we'll be doing these fan reactions on a Wednesday or Thursday night, watching Newcastle playing in Europe, because I can't see any reason why we won't be. I'm not saying Champions League, although I do think we're in the shout. You can't tell me that Manchester United are any better than us right now. But even if it's not the Champions League, it could still be the Europa League. And
I take that in a heartbeat.
We'll get there. So yeah, I think we just got to take it in the chin, being positive, and go, well done, Leeds. You got your point. We didn't lose, and that's always the main thing.
Yeah. Well said, Connor. Well said. Well, thank you for coming on the Fan Reaction Show. Really appreciate it, man. I'll definitely talk to you soon, and we'll obviously, I still got to think of some ideas for some members videos and whatnot. But yeah, thanks, man, for coming on. Really appreciate it. Take care, man. All right. Kieran. All right. What's up, buddy? I got about 5 or 10 minutes, and I got to go pick up my girlfriend from the car dealer.
Sorry, this is horrible.
What are your thoughts on the game? What are your thoughts?
Different. Obviously, we're used to winning week in, week out, but we've got to take each game as we can. Obviously, it's a point going into the new year, but hey ho, as we said, it's on a high note. So,
No, I mean, I can't question the fight of the guys. I can't question none of the intangibles, but the one thing that was lacking today was the finishing. That was our
Sean Long stuff, though. What was Sean Longstaff doing?
He needs to be upgraded. It's simple as. And I think
Honestly.
the owners will do that. We'll bring in a midfielder that's superior to Longstaff so that Longstaff only plays garbage time minutes in these games.
Are you doing watch along for Arsenal?
10, 15 minutes of games.
Steve,
What?
are you doing a watch along for Arsenal?
I'm not sure yet. I don't know.
I'll hop on with if you are, I'll hop on with you. Just let me know.
Awesome. Yeah.
And 4 days later from that game, it's my birthday.
There you go. Nice. Nice.
So hopefully we can win.
Get more sniffs at goal. Probably sniffs people. Yeah. Probably.
Soda.
Long way to go, man. And others have European fixtures soon, which can affect others on the weekend. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what did you think of the match over? Who was your man of the match? I know there wasn't amazing performances today.
I'd probably give it to Pope. He was calm under pressure, like that 2-on-1 part. He kept a composure and just watched what they were doing until defense just came in and wham, get that ball out of here.
Yeah.
So, big massive props to Pope.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought, yeah, definitely in our top 3 of performers today.
I'll be back in a sec.
What?
I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, no worries. Mike Elliott says, yes, takeover results in 2022 are biting them fighting relegation every season. We will get to where we want onwards and upwards away, the lads. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%, man. This is so much better than anything over the 7 years now, coming on 7 years of me supporting Newcastle. So, yeah, it's a hell of a lot. It's a hell of a lot better. It still is frustrating, though, getting 0-0s or just drawing at home with teams that you think you should be able to beat. But that's football. That's football for you. It's a game where nothing is given to you. You have to earn the right to score, earn the right to play, etc., etc. So, this kind of stuff happens, unfortunately. But like an earlier comment said, this is, if we are going to have one of those games, it should be the day before the transfer window opens. Make new signings and upgrade on those players that aren't necessarily at the level we want to be at right now because, we got to strike when the iron's hot. We have to. 2011-12, we didn't strike when the iron's hot to get those, Champions League berth. So, for me, as long as the owners look back on that example and realize, all right, we don't want to screw, these fans and this club over again, these players. We don't want to do that again. So we're going to strike while the iron's hot. And we're going to buy, get some upgrades in the window. There was a question. I believe it was a little bit up here. I think it was something along the lines of 3 transfers you'd bring in ASAP. Yeah, right here. Okay. If you spent crazy like City, which 3 players would you buy right now? Tomorrow, I'm signing Marcus Thuram, striker. Signing Claudio Kone from Borussia Mönchengladbach. And I'm signing Lilian Bressier from Stade Brest. Defensive, can play center back and left back, so cover for there. Boom. And those are the 3 I would make right away that I think are more than achievable. You could throw in Madison in there as well. I think would make him happen. But, yeah, for me, that's what I'd go with. Kieran's back.
My phone died.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So I'm back now. This would be the usual. I got some more memorabilia.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, we can enjoy our club again. Exactly, Mike. That's what it's all about. Man. But yeah, Mandy Claus will have a present or 2 in January for us, I'm sure. Definitely. Definitely. There was this comment right here. I want you to touch on this. Which 3 players do you want in January? Remember,
Madison.
Madison?
Diaby.
Wing, striker. Okay. Thuram? Do you like Marcus Thuram at Borussia Mönchengladbach?
It would be interesting.
because he can cover 3 positions.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he would fit in.
I think Thuram is phenomenal, and he's very cheap, very cheap as well. Only about 10 or 12 million from Mönchengladbach. So that would be mine, and then I would do Quadio Kone, also from Borussia Mönchengladbach. And I'd probably go Lilian Brassier at Stade Brest, play center back and left back, and I think those would be important. So he'd be really cheap too. But yeah, what would your third signing be? Sorry, you said Moussa Diaby at Bayer Leverkusen, James Maddison, Leicester City. What's your third?
I don't really got a third. I kind of think of.
Where do you think we need to strengthen? You just said a winger, an attacking midfielder.
I think a winger would be a good area. A winger would definitely be key, so we can have like a backup if like Miggy's like injured or something.
Right.
So I'd definitely go for that.
You go for another winger, or you go for because Diaby is a winger.
Yeah.
So you go for a winger and Diaby, attacking midfield, and Madison. Who would be your third?
I don't know. That's a good question. Shit.
We need a striker, right? Think of strikers.
Mbappe!
Why not?
Yeah, just sticks 110 million something on there. Just there you go, bish bash bosh. You get full ownership of the club. Nah. We wouldn't give him that. We wouldn't give him ownership.
Right.
Like, not like PSG praising him like he's God.
What do you think Newcastle are lacking today, if anything? And I'll end up with this. Yes.
Goals.
Finishing. Prowess in front of net and composure. That's what Newcastle are missing today. And the crossing ability, the delivery was not up to standard. From what I've, my side of things. But I'm totally dreaming, but Rafael Leao would be amazing. Looked impressive at the World Cup. He's been amazing at AC Milan as well. Tielemans would be another good signing. Yeah, absolutely. Imagine if Chris Wood starts against Arsenal. He won't. Don't worry.
Oh, if Chris Wood starts against Arsenal,
the only time Eddie if we won today, maybe, because he doesn't change winning teams a lot of the time.
Yeah. If he starts against Arsenal, I think that's it set in stone.
I don't think Longstaff starts that game. Actually, you might. I don't know.
In fairness, if we won today and Arsenal lose tonight, we'd only be 3 points behind Arsenal.
Aye.
That's the scary thing.
It's true. We're still in an incredible league position. A lot of draws, like this comment said. Well, 7 draws does look pretty crappy, but can't play league position. Exactly.
I looked at our tally for like going into the new year, and I thought, why not double it and just see how much we would have? We'd have by like double what we've got. We'd have 18 wins, 14 draws, and 2 losses. Huh? What?
Madness, isn't it?
Exactly. And we're not even halfway of the season.
Yeah, no, we're off to a hot start. Yeah. I think we are going to slip up. I'd rather, and the other thing is too, I would rather our win streak end by a draw than a loss. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it happens. But any final thoughts, Kieran, ending off this 2022, this game against Leeds? Any final thoughts?
It's been an emotional roller coaster, in fairness.
Aye.
A
hell of a lot of ups.
Yeah. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, like the Liverpool game. We'll only talk about that now.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully next year will bring more memories. And hey, if Arsenal lose tonight and we beat Arsenal somehow, we are only 3 points behind them. And City, or whatever they're doing.
They're 4 points out of us, I believe. I think we also picked the perfect time. If we were going to drop points, it would be better
to get this out of the way, like against someone like the likes of Leeds than dropping points to like the likes of Arsenal.
Well, it's not. I'm talking like on the same game week, Man City, because Man City drew with Everton today.
Yeah, true.
So that's what I'm saying. If you're dropping points the same week that Man City, 2-0 Arsenal, Odegaard. So yeah, they'll probably win that tonight.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it happens. But anyways, I'm gonna have to let you go. I gotta head out.
Yeah, go get the missus.
Yes, I gotta go get the missus. But anyways,
just say I'm pissed. We didn't win.
Karen, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been wonderful we did a bunch of watch-alongs too.
We did like, I don't know, probably double digits or something.
It's been tremendous. So thank you, and thanks to everyone for supporting the channel and whatnot. It's been a tremendous 2022. It ends on a bit of a kind of a meh note with the draw against Leeds. Frustrating as hell, but we'll come back stronger. No doubt in my mind. So
happy New Year to all.
Yeah, happy New Year to everyone. Make sure you smash the like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, people. And yeah, I'm gonna love you or leave you guys. Ta-da. Away the lads.